that's going to be talking about what the future brings. We talk about the future is black. And I'm excited because this is probably my 10th, no, I've been coming to ECBACC since 2008, since you were born. Since 2008. And this is the place where I first started doing the research when I came into the comic book industry, because I didn't know that there were black artists or black creators out there. And when I came to ECBACC, it was intriguing, phenomenal experience where I got a chance to engage, connect, build with people. And this is when I didn't even have a book. I was just an aspiring artist at the time. And I actually connected with one brother whose name is Mashindo Kawumba, who is a phenomenal artist. And I saw his artwork and I said, one day I'm gonna work with this guy. And hence, a year later, he actually does the character designs for P.B.Soldier graphic novel, and then from there, worked with another artist. In 2012, we launched, and we've been pushing ever since. And now we have 2 graphic novel series, we have an animation, and because of this one particular experience here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I did not only travel the country, promoting our graphic novel series and everything else, talk about Afrofuturism, technology, and everything else, and diversity within the comic, animation, and gaming spaces, but also created my own festival, looking at Brother Yumi for the blessing. I actually called him and I asked him for the blessing to be able to, I'm not looking to compete, but my community is in need of something like this. They've never been to a Comic-Con. So in 2015, we started ChemFest. And ChemFest, which we celebrate Black animation, gaming, and comic book creators, was something that was needed in our community, just like ECBACC is needed here in Philadelphia. So I'm ecstatic, I'm humble, and I'm honored to be able to be here and broadcast live, for the 25th anniversary. We talking about 25 years, y'all. You know what type of dedication it is for a person who actually puts together their own festival each and every year. Each and every year, you questioning your sanity about actually doing the actual festival and everything. Because this is not because you're getting paid buku dollars or anything like that. It's because of love and the passion. And you know what drives me each and every year? I connect with the young people, I connect with the attendees, and they say it's needed. And that's what drives me each and every year. Every time I feel that it's time to let it go. It's the community, when we talk about emoji, we talk about unity, we talk about those principles in Kwanzaa. That is why we are here. And once again, I got 5 phenomenal guests that's going to be coming and speaking, and then we're going to have a question and answer period. And from that, we actually have our first guest, Miss Asia Simone. Please give her a big round of applause, everyone. All right. Welcome, Asia, to the Future is Black podcast. So I just met Asia, but I've been seeing Asia's work, around, when you're in the comic book industry, and this is a very close-knit market and everything. So I've been seeing Asia's work around for years, and then just had the fortunate opportunity to be able to actually meet her in person, and then we actually have to be booth partners and everything. So that actually works out. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce you to the audience and everything, but I want everyone to know who you are, where you're from, and how you actually got into the industry.
Yes, so hello everyone. I'm Asia. I am from Philly. Let's see. I've been drawing my whole life, like a lot of artists. I've just been drawing, and I always loved to draw. It was always something I wanted to do. And it was kind of a toss-up between getting into animation or illustration for me. I went to the University of the Arts, and I got my degree in illustration with a minor in creative writing. And I actually had moved out to California for about 4 years because I was planning to get into the animation industry, but I kind of fell into comic books.
Okay.
In part because I was posting a lot online, and I got reached out to by Scholastic, who was working on the Moon Girl and Double Dinosaur team for Marvel. And so that's how I got my first book job. I was like, reached out and I tested for it, and I got the job.
Nice, nice, nice. So when we talk about these are like our passions, you know, these are passion industries and everything. What keeps you? What's your motivation? What keeps you going?
I guess I always feel like I have stories I want to tell. I just love creation. Like I love drawing and making things in my vision and being the person who gets to color everything and make those like vibrant pieces that I do. And I guess like what drives me is the youth, both my dreams and my passions and my inspirations, but also the youth. Like I create stories for them.
Okay.
So yeah, so that drives me.
Oh man, that's super, super powerful.
So hold on 1 second. I think the mic is playing.
Okay. 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 Have to read it.
Just because we are live. If you wouldn't mind, just read what you just stated.
Yeah. So essentially, when it comes to making art and what keeps me going, well, one, I just love art. It's just it's one of those things where like I would tell someone if you wanted to get into comics, like you better love it.
Oh yeah.
Or you're just gonna burn out. You might as well not do it at all. So I just love it that much. I love storytelling. I love creating, and I just love creating my own worlds on a blank canvas. But also, I just care a lot about the youth. I'm a teacher. Yes. So I used to teach full time in high school. Now I'm subbing, and then actually I just got a job as a professor at Moore College. So I will be starting there this fall.
Oh wow.
Yes. So thank you. Yeah. So I'm really into teaching.
Fellow educator here.
Yes. So I just love the youth. I love making sure that they're getting quality work. Yeah.
So, I mean, most people's dream job is to work for Marvel and everything. Can you just give some insight into, I mean, I know you said you got the call and they saw your work online and everything, but like what was the feeling that you got, behind that, and then kind of leveraging that to be able to kind of do some of your own independent projects.
Yeah. So, well, in terms of like, I guess kind of the inside, it's just Marvel has like a lot of rules. It's a big company. It has its, how do you say, like they're very particular about what they're putting out, and so it's funny because I can appreciate it more now that I've been doing comic books for a while, but that was my first deal, so it was kind of hard to grasp the weight of what I was doing. But it not only was it my first book, but it was a graphic novel, so it wasn't just 20 pages. It was around like 80 pages of work.
Oh, okay.
And I pretty much did the entire process except for coloring. So one of the big things about the project that it was imperative that I was one model, meaning that my art style was as close to the TV show as humanly possible.
Oh wow!
And so, for example, I had to design about 6 characters for the book, and I was working on those characters for probably a month or more, because I designed them and then I had to keep reworking them until they felt like the show. So not only was I designing characters from scratch, but they had to fit the style.
So with that, I mean, and I know with major corporations like that, was there a lot of revisions that you had to do? Once you submitting a lot of your work
at that character design stage, yes.
Okay.
So there was a lot of revisions, a lot of redrawing and redesigning until they felt right. And I was lucky in that I had a lot of behind the scenes work. They gave me a lot of the design files and the animation, so I had a lot to work with. But once I got around to pages, I pretty much got it down at that point. We worked it so much, so I got it down eventually. But yeah, if there was ever anything that was a little wonky, I definitely had to like redraw.
Okay. So what are you currently working on? And then let me let you speak.
Yes. So I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I'm working on a big graphic novel right now for Oni. I don't think I can say what it is.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't sign an NDA, but I feel like they probably wouldn't want me to say what it is. So I am working on a big graphic novel right now with them. So that's kind of keeping up honestly all the time.
With Mark.
With Oni. With Oni Press.
Oni
Yeah,
Press.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I worked with Oni as well on their Adventure Time book that I came out with. So this is a either way, it's a bigger graphic novel that I'm working on with them. And then that's kind of the only thing I have going on. It's just taking up a lot of time, but I'm kind of in the process of setting things up for next year. So I'm possibly going to be submitting some creator-owned stuff next year. So that's the goal.
Okay. All right, that's powerful. That's powerful. So, where do you see the industry in the next 5 years?
Oh God. One thing that's probably going to get even bigger than it already is the scroll method. So think like webtoons and how both DC and Marvel have their own kind of scroll thing that they're doing, which I don't hate. I mean, I read it, I consume it, so I'm not mad. I like it. So I see that probably getting bigger. A part of me wonders about the growth of kind of more diverse stories. I feel like that's something that companies are interested in. So I wonder if we'll be seeing more of that and kind of being put more into the mainstream. But also, I will say, I mean, a win for comic books is that comic books are becoming a lot more popular now. So it is becoming a much more preferred form of reading. Education is getting really into comic books and bringing comic books into the classroom. A lot of companies that were only straight novels are now getting their hands into doing graphic novels.
Yes.
So comic books are becoming a really big deal. So I think we're going to see a lot of graphic novels.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, just from an education standpoint, we talk about diverse level of learners. You know, we talk about access and entry points and everything. And I've seen graphic novels being used for ELL students, so English level, English.
I get it confused too.
English
language.
English language learners.
All the acronyms of education.
Okay. So English learning.
English language learners.
Yeah, English language learners. I do apologize. This is kind of distracting me, messed me up. But and then also an AP. So in advanced placement. So it's been being able to go across that spectrum and everything. And I've actually used it. I've actually done a couple of workshops sort of for parents and everything to speak to how to use graphic novels to take really hard concepts to be able to break it down for young people to be able to understand it on multiple levels. But yes, that access is definitely something that we need to be able to talk about. So the real touchy subject. Where you see AI in all of this?
I don't.
You don't?
No. The thing is like, so AI is. I can't say AI is not penetrating the art world. It is, but I don't see it largely penetrating like comics in particular. Like it's like if you go on LinkedIn for someone who's like trying to find a 9 to 5 or something of the sort. As an artist, a lot of those jobs are AI related. So you are seeing a lot of that on places like LinkedIn, and if you're just looking for general drawing jobs or graphic design jobs, you're seeing a lot of AI in that realm. But like as comic artists, still not really seeing it in the industry. I'm not really seeing anyone ask for it. None of the artists respect it. So I'm not seeing a lot of editors or art directors ask for it. So I just do not see AI penetrating comics. Also, it just doesn't work in the entertainment space. The entertainment space, this is kind of funny to say, but the entertainment space moves too fast for that, even with how slow that it moves. But it's too fast, I think, for AI. Like AI does not have the nuance to make changes and take on critiques, and that also requires like a human touch. And I've heard stories of them hiring people who are just not artists to try and do that, and so they don't have the eyes. I just don't see AI being a benefit in comics at all. I don't see it rising. I think it's already on its way out to some respects. I mean, AI is not going to go away, but in terms of like, I think people kind of got over the fad of it as art. At least it's starting to happen. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me.
That's valid. That's definitely valid. So, I mean, the one thing I like about comics, I mean, for us as a people, and I talk about, we go all the way back to ancient Kemet. We actually had the first stories written on the walls of, Egypt. that was our art style, right? And that was our medium of how we told stories. And then, of course, later on, someone took that and made strips and, you know, all this other stuff and, you know, made money off of it. So now we have the comic book industry and everything.
Yeah.
But this is something that is ingrained in our history, you know, is documented and everything. So for us to be able to be a part of it is something that we're taking back something that was already ours, to be able to tell stories. So I want to thank you for not only sharing your story, but being a part of the podcast and everything. How can people find you, and connect with you, regarding your next project and the secret one that you couldn't reveal too much about?
Yeah, so you can always find me on Instagram at Asia_Simone405. And then my website is www.asiaillustration.com. And I'm practically nowhere else. I'm like working up the courage to make a TikTok maybe one day.
Okay.
That's pretty much.
I'm on the. I got a TikTok, but I post.
I know.
You know, I'm like 6, 7.
I just can barely post on Instagram, so I'm just like, do I really want to commit to a TikTok? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get you. But thank you. We definitely appreciate you. And for those of you who are still watching us live, we're here at the 25th anniversary of ECBACC at Temple University. What is this? The Student Faculty Center on the 4th floor. We'll be here until 7 p.m. 7 p.m. So if you have an opportunity, please come out. We'll actually have questions because afterwards, I know you got to get back to your table, but we'll definitely have the audience be able to reach out to you and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. We definitely appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
You say ciao. Thank you.
All right. So moving on. All right. All right. Come on up.
I'm new to this. You gotta let me
Yes,
know.
yeah, I need that.
You gotta tell me to come. Is it on?
Yes.
Just anywhere.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What the?
You can flip it up. You can flip it up.
Yeah.
All right. So we're flowing like a river here today, and we just had the opportunity to be able to connect with a lot of Black creators and innovators that are doing some phenomenal work. I wanted to be able to highlight that because, one of the things that we do as Black people in general and people from across the African diaspora is we are sometimes the biggest consumers of comics, animation, and gaming. But this is where the jobs are. There's a lot of different opportunities that's available. When you go and look at an animation, you see the credits, those are all job opportunities. But what happens is we don't know anybody who's in these particular industries to be able to get afforded those opportunities. And that's where places like ECBACC, like ChemFest, and all of these other conventions come in, and we get to connect with creators like yourself to be able to talk about, the trials and tribulations of what's going on in the industry, but also just inspire the youth because I got into this industry because of my children. And I stayed in this industry because I service children each and every day, as an educator and everything. But I like the fact that, being able to connect with individuals like yourself. And without that further ado, I want you to introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are, where you're from, and how you got into the industry.
All right, that's a lot. So, Naseed DeVoe, known affectionately as Brother DeVoe, fellow educator, teach high school in the Bronx. Started teaching in 1993.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, this will be my 33rd year teaching.
Another fellow educator.
High school math. So a lot of educators in the Black
I was a high school math teacher as well.
Okay.
I went from substitute teacher all the way up to principal.
What's up? That's what's up. So yeah, actually my transition into this work, not quite the same what you did, but it did have something to do with education and teaching. It had to do during COVID when we had to go home and teach with Zoom.
Oh yes.
So that was a hard time for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much the social interaction with the students, how much that was feeding me, how much I was getting them. Because sometimes the students will wear you out.
Oh yeah.
I love y'all. If you're watching, but who will be tired? So those first, that first maybe a few weeks where they're like, oh, we're working from home, I was happy. I gotta say, I was like, man, thank goodness. Forget the commute. The commute to New York was crazy. I could teach at home in my pajamas. I thought everything was good, but after a couple of weeks, I realized it started to wear on me.
Wow.
Honestly, like it's basically like this is not. I don't enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the love kids wouldn't put the cameras on. I'm looking at 25 little black squares around the screen, trying to talk and pour my heart out. There's no interaction. There's no communication.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not what's up. So it was wearing on me mentally. So I started writing. So I was a fan of comics. I've been reading comics and collecting comics since probably 10 years old or before. And then I started writing. I also played role-playing games. So I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons. Still play Dungeons and Dragons about once a week with my crew. So I just started writing some stories. And I had this character in mind, Scruff. And I'm a fan of like the not super powered, like the Batman, Punisher, that guy who's doing his work business but really doesn't have a superpower. So I was like, Batman's parents died, Punisher, the whole family's wiped out. And I was like, this mental health thing, as I'm starting to get more aware and the importance of mental health during the Zoom era, I was like, what if these guys had to like go to therapy? What if they were trying to work it out? What if Batman still had to go to a job every day? He's not a billionaire. What if the Punisher still had to come home to his wife and kids? Like, what is that like? Yeah. And that's what I was going for with this book. Okay. So he's a college professor. Something traumatic happens outside the school's campus. He's injured. The student's injured. He feels responsible. And the first part, he's going to therapy. I wanted to show the hero. I want to normalize mental health, especially for Black men. I'm part of a men's rounds table. We meet every Thursday on Zoom. And I really wanted to show a hero trying to work out their trauma, going through therapy. We don't get to see that. But things don't move as fast as he likes or he thinks it should happen. And when the people get off, he tries to take matters in his own hands and try to kill the people responsible. So that's what was going for in this book. When a man caught between worlds. He's still trying to be a husband, father, professor during the day. But at night he puts on the mask and becomes the Scruff. And so it causes this weird dynamic in his life where he's a hero to the people he saves at night, but for his wife, his daughter, and the job, now it's like something's missing. It's causing problems. Yeah, everyday slice of life.
I mean, and those stories are very, very interesting all the time. Just to be able to connect with things that people do each and every day. That's powerful.
I tell you what, man, being in this part of this work, so this started in 1922, people read your work, something you created. I didn't know how it was going to be, a story and people like come back to you. But I heard you talk about that pride. It does feel good when somebody comes back. It's like, oh, I read your story. I was able to connect, identify. Obviously, we're not all trying to be vigilantes at night and kill people, but a lot of people, speaking from a Black male perspective, but I'm sure it's true for sisters and others, do sometimes feel like they're caught between worlds, right? Black people always got a code switch. Sometimes we're a different person at work. We're at home. We're a different person with our friends than maybe we are with our children and stuff. So that's what I was really going for. People see that in the Scruff, that this guy's caught between worlds, trying to do the right thing in both worlds, but sometimes don't overlap well. Yeah. So that's what I was going for.
Well, yeah, tap into the mental health piece because I'm part of a men's group as well. And the statistics always kind of talk about that, especially Black men are generally in isolation and they do not have anyone to talk to. And then that's why they kind of, you'll see suicide, you'll see alcoholism, drug addiction, all of these different characteristics come out of that because they don't have a network to be able to connect with. So kind of talk about, why you infuse that piece into your book and then, like how does that kind of ooze out of your storytelling?
Yeah, and you were kind for a Black man because everything that you said, we don't have the network connection. But a lot of times, I'll speak for myself, okay? It's just like the ignorance around mental health.
Yes.
I grew up where you didn't go get mental health for like, oh, that person's crazy or something like that. So for me, I wish it could be like I didn't have the connect or, the information. If I'd been a teacher, I could have been getting my mental health checked out from day one. I have health insurance. For me, it was just straight ignorance. Yeah. So, I had a situation outside the school. Part of people say, you trying to tell your whole biography? Clearly, I'm not killing people at night. But But there was a situation that happened when I was teaching the Bronx outside of the school's campus where I actually started going to a counselor. Thank God for the United Federation of Teachers. The union was able to pay for it. I didn't even know to go to it after the situation happened. I took a few days off school. I came back, and it was actually a friend teacher. Shout out to the warrior queen, Miss Cherry. She's like, "Nah, you're not yourself." I thought I was good. I was good. I'm going to work. I was teaching my classes, but I was on autopilot.
Yeah, you was on a routine.
So, it was free. I didn't pay no money, so I went to start seeing a therapist, and I was, 10, 15 years ago now. Now, I still check in with the therapist once a month. And I realize now my mental health, I do the dentist twice a year for cleanups. I don't wait for a cavity. I just automatic. I do my physical checkup every year. I don't just wait.
So it's like mental maintenance.
Right. I was like, damn, but we don't do that with our mind. Yeah. Mental health, we don't just feel like, just do that mental maintenance. You don't need a breakdown to go to therapy, man. So that's what I really wanted to, I want people to see the hero going through therapy and be a proponent of, mental health.
I mean, as an educator, which they generally say that you are, the local heroes and everything. Yeah, the philosophy or that energy is neither created nor destroyed is transferred.
Mm-hmm.
Generally we assume, a lot of the stuff that we are dealing with the young people that we are addressing each and every day. And most of the time we bring that stuff home. Right, and then because it's been transferred onto us, and now we have to do something with it. And after a while, it wears on you. I know when I first became an educator, you want to bring everybody home. It's the young people. They got all these issues. I mean, I've seen some young people who have such a high level of perseverance because if I was going through what they were going through at that time, I know I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't even go into school. I wouldn't have did any. I know kids who didn't eat, don't have any type of adult supervision, and still make sure that they get up, take on a responsibility and do what they need to do each and every day. But as an educator, that wears on you, So I definitely feel everything that you're talking about with that, and sometimes you do need those breaks and getting that mental maintenance in to be able to address those type of things.
Let me shout out the young people real quick because they are much more tuned to their mental health than I was at.
Yes.
I have students tell me like, "Yo, Brother DeVoe, man, I'm having a little anxiety today. I think I need a break." I'm like, "What?" I never said it. I would never talk to a teacher and say something like that. But sometimes they may use it the wrong way, but they're aware.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are aware of depression, anxiety. Those are not words I was familiar with in high school.
Oh yeah.
So my students, they're familiar. They're not always using it the correct way, but they are aware. So, shout out for the young people being more aware of their mental health.
Definitely.
Can I share Karen McBrain too? I got a different one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got Karen. I had to go a little lighter note. Because club is not with you. It's 17 up. So somebody said write something for the young people. So I do got Karen McBrain, 12-year-old Sudanese from the Bronx. In the story, she takes a trip to Costa Rica and discovers she can speak to animals, so she has a power. And she uses her genius to create these different inventions for her friends and stuff to go on these adventures with animals. And so that's the first one, Karen McBrain. So targeting a middle school audience here. It's cute, it's fun. We got a little word search in the back. We got a glossary, so build their vocabulary. But we got a fun one too for the people. If you're too young to read the script.
Oh, it's powerful. So what's next? So what's in the pipe now, and then what's next?
So what's Scruff right now? I'm writing Scruff 3.
Okay.
So Scruff 1 and 2 are out. So we want to go through the 5 stages of depression, 5 stages of trauma that come through the Scruff coming out of it. So each issue, when we do the graphic novel piece, we're going to be going through each of the stages of, him going fighting through the trauma, overcoming the trauma. And then you'll realize that, you can't kill every criminal. Right? That's not going to bring him the satisfaction he needs. And spoiler alert, but the end story is he's got a misforgiveness of himself.
Oh,
so he thinks he's going on this quest of vengeance. I'm not forgiving these criminals what they're doing, but it's really the guilt. He's got to forgive himself, and that's how we'll close out that. So that's what's down the pipe.
Oh, that's powerful.
Kim McBrain will do some lighter stuff. We're going to continue her featuring animals things, so that'll be her thing. And each comic she'll feature a different animal where you'll learn about. So the young people can have a fun adventure, but they'll learn something from an animal maybe that they don't see every day. So like I said, the first issue is meat cutter ants.
Oh, nice.
We'll pick something out from there.
So, do we see any animation or anything in the future of these projects?
You know, we go here, we network at these events, so we're here now. So I've been getting a lot of talk here. So, matter of fact, a guy just kind of showed me some quick things they could do with animating.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to learn. I'll say yes down the pike. Right now, he did a little thing where he was able just to take some panels and show it, which was pretty impressive to see your panels be animated.
Yeah.
So what I want to do, and probably start at Scruff 3, where there's actually a battle with him and his character Lady Savage that's been very popular with some posters of Lady Savage. Is going to just do that battle and animate that part.
Oh,
And then
okay.
we'll see, you know, what larger down the road we can do. But we're going to animate that to show people and do a voiceover too.
Oh, nice.
So I'm looking forward to doing that. Small piece. So small piece of Scruff 3 will be animated.
So Scruff 3 animation, that's what we're looking forward to. That's what we're looking forward to.
Small piece, one fight scene.
One fight scene. I think we have a question in the audience. Or?
I'm an animator, so you can talk to me about that.
Okay, we gotta see this is what ECBACC is all about. At the 25th anniversary of ECBACC, now we just made a connection. Oh, and we got a voice actress over here too.
Look at that. We got
So look at that. We got anybody in the room, and he needs somebody to do the behind the scenes. We got somebody right there.
That's what networking is all
Yeah,
about.
that's what's all
That's the
networking is
best part
all
about
about.
it. Little short thing, cutting out the people that take over. But the artist Abelard Alexis, I gotta shout him out because a lot of people stop at the table.
Yeah.
I could share the story, but a lot of times they start because they see his art. I met Abelard Alexis here at ECBACC. I forgot. I should say the year. Don't remember
So
about
this
7
is
years
a lot of people's origin story. My origin story
Yeah,
started
it was
at
right
ECBACC.
after COVID. So I wrote it during COVID. I came to ECBACC. It's funny, we're both from New York, but we met down here in Philly. And I was just coming as a patron. I'm buying stuff. I saw his table and I saw his art and I was like, yo, this is dope. I said, I wrote this kind of story. He was like, I never did a comic. And I was like, all right. And then we met back in the Starbucks back home in New York. And then he did the comic for me. So yeah.
There you go.
My first comic, the brother right there, Abelard Alexis, name I met him here at ECBACC.
Hey man, hey, ECBACC where connections are made, man.
That's
So,
it.
I mean, as we're coming to a close, please let people know how they can get in contact with you. You know,
Yeah, so the Scruff comic
the Scruff comic.
TheScruffComic. So it's thescruffcomic.com is the website. Same thing for Instagram and Facebook at the Scruff Comic. And if you want to hit me up on Gmail, so all these contacts and stuff, please send me at thescruffcomic@gmail.com. The Scruff Comic on everything.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bo.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Fellow educated, keep
Yes,
doing what you're doing.
keep
You already subscribed. I'm already playing and sharing. So do your thing.
Yeah.
I'll come back later. Question. I'm going back to my table.
Yeah,
for a minute.
yeah,
So you got a
please.
few more people.
Yep.
I'll come back about 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, great. You were like perfectly on time. Right next.
Yeah, that's how it is. Oh, you change shirts with me? No, okay, this is the same one. I got you. I like that one. Oh, thank you.
So this next guest is my travel buddy. We've done. I call him the guru of the godfather of the comic convention scenes and everything because he's always at a convention nowadays. You know, but we used to travel heavy together. Without further ado, I want to introduce Greg Anderson. Let's see if you get it. Elise. Because I never say his last name, everybody. I've known this brother for years, and I never say his last name. I just say Greg Anderson. But thank you for coming on to the Futures Black podcast, man. So please introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, where you're from, and how you actually got into this industry.
My name is Greg Anderson Elise. I am a writer and creator. My main series is It's Not the Worst Fighter. Born and raised in New York, Asian background.
BK, Brooklyn.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, second home, everybody.
Should be the first one, but it's cool. I tend to write about a lot of Black culture, using a lot of Black culture in comic books, especially mythology, spiritual figures, just anything Black. I tend to want to highlight and showcase and try to change the narrative from how media would demonize our cultures and use it as a sense of pride and magic. And I got into, well, my first volume for Is Nana came out 10 years ago, so this is actually my 10th year.
10th anniversary, man. Shoot.
Thank you. I was trying to celebrate that with trying to release volume 3 of Is Nana, but
Yeah.
Hammer, I still got stuff to fulfill with Hammer before I do that.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I got into it. I started off, of course, like most people, total comic book fanboy.
Yep.
You know, second grade, I discovered a comic shop, and that was it for me. That they hooked me, and it was like, this is your career from now on. Make it happen, make it work. And I've just been pursuing that high, and started from there, going to comic conventions, meeting a lot of amazing Black comic creators, and building connections, interviewing them, working for different sites, worked at a comic shop, and finally I found myself
Mhm.
being the one selling comics and making comics.
I mean, and on top of you, you know, being a writer, how many projects do you have currently? I mean, I know you have, I know you got credits on a whole bunch of projects. I know that. But I mean, as far as your own independent projects, you have three main ones, right?
I mean, I have Is Nana, which is #1. Hammer just released. I've been working on that for, I want to say two years that we've been releasing it, but I actually wrote the script for it like 9 years ago.
Okay.
And I would consider Marasa another one, even though there's been a lot of controversy in that take with that particular series. But I'm hoping to get back on track with that.
So, for those who don't know, can you go into because a lot of people think when we talk about African folklore, the gods and everything, it's not connects right to that, right?
Yeah.
And you know, my daughter's a fan of Spider-Man and and all these people with spider powers and stuff. But it's not can you talk about that particular project and how it connects to African mythology?
Yeah, so Is Nana is the son of Anansi the spider, who in West African mythology and religion, he is the god of stories.
Mm-hmm.
And he is also well known in particular Caribbean cultures like Trinidad, Barbados. A lot of it dealing from Black people when they became enslaved and being sent to different islands. Some of those stories transferred into a lot of those cultures as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what inspired Is Nana essentially was before American gods, and now so many people are familiar with Anansi the spider. I would ask some of my peers or my friends, about Anansi the spider because I knew some of the stories, and there was some stories I wanted to share. It was like, yo, there's this funny Anansi story I discovered, and they'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, yo, this is our Black God. He's probably the most well-known Black God, and they didn't know who he was. But me, I was like, oh, but I bet you can name like 10 Greek gods.
Yep.
And they were like, oh yeah, I know this. And it's one of those things. I grew up on those too. I love those stories. I love Greek myths. I love European fairy tales and things like that. But we were conditioned and required to know these stories.
Mm-hmm.
In education, you're supposed to know who the Greek gods are. That's classical culture.
Yep.
But when we were never, unless you had a teacher who went beyond the curriculum to educate you on, like, maybe John Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, we weren't required to know these. So when I got to college, that was around the time I'm trying to tell these stories. Another thing that pushed me was I had to take to get my degree. You had to take your requirement courses. Another one of them was classical cultures, which is Greek mythology. If I wanted to learn about the Black gods or Black stories, I had to take an elective. And I was like, yo, that's even though those classes were amazing, but I just hated the fact that
this one is a requirement, one is you selected.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, if you want extra
if you
degree,
want to learn a little bit about your own history,
take this class, even though you don't really need it to graduate.
Yeah.
And so Is Nana represented that. I wanted his Anansi's legacy to continue in some way. And so, given that you have a child, it's considered the legacy of whatever it was that came before. And so, Anansi has his son Isnana, and each story you're meeting a different figure from, whether it's like Black legends, Black mythology, spirituality. It's just a way of showcasing that we have our own gods, we have our own fairy tale characters, our own deities that we can draw stories from. It's not just the European cultures.
I mean, well, we know that they took our gods and remixed it and renamed them and rebranded and all that stuff. So for every, and I saw a documentary for every god, the Norse gods or the Greek gods or the Roman gods or whatever, there is a Black equivalent, to that, or African, equivalent to that. So I want to kind of get out of, because I know you, right? So I want to kind of get out of what you do with the comics, but outside of the comics, you are a bodybuilder. You're a trainer. You train people to be physically fit. And generally you post about that and everything. How do you work that into what you do with your writing, or is that just something to keep you mentally stable? How does that all work?
I mean, I think the only real connection is I'm too lazy to separate them on my social media. So if you're following me for my comics, you're gonna see my fitness stuff. If you're following me for my fitness stuff, you're gonna see my comic stuff. And I think in the end, it really helps people realize I'm more than just one thing. And I hope that it can inspire people to be more active physically, because especially I always used to say, I find it funny how in the comic world, there's this wish fulfillment fantasy that we have of these like crazy bodies and people doing this crazy physicality. But I'm like, why a lot of us creators don't look like the characters we're making?
They be super exaggerated.
Yeah, right. But it's just what it is. And fitness has always been something. Once I started it, that I just fell in love with it, and I like the challenge of it. I like seeing the results of it. I like seeing how happy it makes people who are just discovering it. And for some people, they hate it, but they enjoy the results. I'm one of those people where I just love everything about it. Challenging it. This therapy.
Okay. So what do you see? Well, what's next? And then what do you see in the future for the industry as well as yourself?
I am, well, as I said, Hammer is still running its course right now. The first act, we won a couple of awards for it so far. That's been doing very well. At conventions, people scoop it up. And currently we are about more than halfway through the second one. David and I, the artist, David Brain, he's been amazing. So that is, we're working on that. Once I'm done with the Kickstarter fulfillments for Hammer, I'm gonna try my best to focus, hopefully before the year is out, the volume 3 of Isnana. The stories have been released already as single issues, but this will be the first time that it's gonna be collected into the volume 3. And so I'm gonna use that as hopefully celebrate the 10 years, and I already have the next one-shots sort of ready to go. It's just been on standby because Hammer has just been driving me crazy trying to.
Hey, so for those of you who are anticipating or waiting, it's coming. He's here telling you right now that it's coming. He's not going ghost. He's not ghosting anything. He's still posting and everything, so he's not ghost. So everything is coming, man. Yeah. No, man, you've been doing some phenomenal work, man, and I appreciate you. I think with creators like yourself and some of the earlier guests, I think when I see your work, it pushes me to do more, right? And I always have a list of individuals, and I feel that how we support each other, I mean, we all got jumped into this game called blurredism or whatever the case may be, and I thought I was in it much earlier when I was a kid, get picked on and all other stuff because of the things that you like, and but the one thing for me was, even though I was into all of this stuff, I was a fighter, and I just didn't allow people to just try to bully me. And that's how I got into a lot of fights. I got jumped a lot, I just sent my brother go get help, type thing. But that was it. But I stand firm on what I believed in, and and now this is the new vibe, right? This is if you had video games or comics or collector toys and stuff like that, you were frowned upon. Now I know people who have. I'm not to that extreme or at all, but I know people who got whole rooms full of these things and stuff like that, and they bringing the women in and have or their partners to kind of come see their collection, and that's how they kick it to them. That's how they introduce themselves to that's the way in. And like I said, that was
the girls
yeah
were hiding that
yes
they were into.
Yep.
So the thing is, so I didn't go through a lot of those issues that a lot of geeks went through because I went to an art school.
Oh, okay.
It's very.
He was already a geek.
So I was
a whole bunch of geeks.
Yeah, everyone.
I was in the sciences, so like that was it.
But it was. I enjoy seeing that culture. To be honest, I like seeing where we've come from it because now the judgment is gone, the foundness is gone. Now it's
geek culture is the dominant culture now.
Here now. It's here, and it's normal to hear. Oh, I watched this anime, and now it's even though there's still some weirdos who are like girls like this, and I'm like, like a lot of them are the ones who've been writing the stories themselves.
Yeah.
So seeing just how normalized it is, it's nothing to even ponder, to even shock you. It's just like, oh, you like this show, and given how even Marvel with the movies, it's they're action films. To be honest with you, it's not. People don't really look at them as just superhero stuff. It's an action film. We have all these different movies that's been coming out. It's just normal. People know who Captain America is now. They know who Iron Man is.
And these are all the B-list characters. For those of you who don't know, they made them into A-list because Marvel sold off all of their A-list characters, so they had to use the B team, and then they tried to use the C team and said, "Hey, these C guys ain't working too much. We gotta go back to the B and get some of these A's back." So but I mean that's the industry and everything. So that's what it is. So you got Hammer coming out. You're trying to do is not and that's next year, right? Or you're trying to finish that out before the year is out.
And it actually, it's 2027 is next year, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can mention this, but I saw it on a site, so I'm like, so I
guess you could say something about it.
I guess I could say something about it. I do have another Scholastic book coming out. In February.
That's powerful.
And it's, I hope I'm going to joke with this. It's LeBron James. It's sort of like a
LBJ.
Of his childhood, growing up getting into his basketball career, and that was a very fun project.
That's powerful. Did you get to actually meet with him to do that?
I met Akeem Aliou, who was I wrote that book for Scholastic, and we got to hang out and we did the book tour together. But for LeBron, I think he's too big time, maybe. But it's
probably when the project comes out, you probably get a chance to
yeah, I want you to go thanks. I'm pretty sure he's a lot of people writing about his life.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I did a art piece and tragedy and all wrapped into. I went to LA for the Lakers Clippers game. This was back in 2020. Yeah, 2020. 2020, right before COVID. But right before COVID, we know the tragedy that happened was Kobe Bryant. So that game got canceled. I'm already got hotel, got my plane ticket, got my tickets to the game and everything. So I'm already going out there. I got this big old poster, like I would have been one of those people that stands like, got this for you, LeBron, here. You know, I tried to mail it to his house. I don't know if it ever got there or whatever. Brian, let me know if you ever got the poster that we made for you. But, you know, that was my thing. And like I said, he probably gets 1 million these days or whatever, you know.
No hard feelings.
No hard feelings or anything. But I did do that, you know, just to let you know. But, you know, but keep up the great work, man. And looking forward to touring with you again. You know, definitely get back out there. I'm looking to do some things this summer and everything. And then definitely would love for you to be a guest at Kimfest this year.
All right, man.
All right.
Schedule permits, I'm definitely back.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being part of the Futures Black podcast. Thank you. All right. So we actually have one more guest. He's been waiting patiently in the Raptors and everything. You know, we in a big stadium, guys, and this all these people were here. You know, but he got to come all the way down. He left out, came back.
Yeah. Some of my voiceover people came in.
Yeah. So without further ado, I want to introduce Ricky Clover Jr. He is I won't say game developer.
Yeah,
game developer who has a phenomenal project, Escape from Dragon Dungeon. And he's going to talk about that. So without further ado, introducing Ricky Clover Jr. Welcome to the Futures Black podcast.
How you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm great. How you feeling?
I'm very excited.
Very excited. That's good, man. I seen the interaction of what the young people are beta testing your game and everything. So I was like, look, we got to get you on, you know, and talk about what you're doing and how you're doing it. There is not a lot of people who know about, you know, we know about gaming, we know about playing games, but we don't know about creating games.
Right.
And that's what you're doing.
Right.
And I love to be able to highlight that because I love the fact that we could go from consumers to creators and innovators within these spaces. And then also, you know, we put our flavor on it, man. We put a little, you know, little that sazon, you know,
Exactly.
that to be able to add a certain level of
We put that soul in.
Yeah, we put a soul into it, and it resonates with our people as well as with the ancestors.
Exactly.
So tell us where you're from and everything.
I'm originally from West Philly.
West Philly,
Yeah.
okay. West Philadelphia, born and raised. Okay. All right. So how'd you become a game developer?
Well, I'm gonna take it back 10 years. I've been an animator.
Oh, animator.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started doing a series called Marking. I
Mhm.
won the second annual Academy Awards back in 2019,
Okay.
and that sets me on the path of doing 5 animated shorts. Yeah, for the last 10 years.
Oh, man.
Then
That's powerful.
I expanded to doing my podcast, using some AI and green screen technology.
Mhm.
That was last year. That's when I started getting into game development. The reason why I got into game development, 2 reasons. One, I wanted to take my animation to the next level.
Mhm.
And this game is part of the Marvel universe. So these characters showed up in second and third episode of Marvel.
Okay.
So I always wanted to do a game, but I just didn't have the training for it. But
So I mean, what platforms are you using currently, and then what did you learn along the way?
well, I use a game engine called G-Develop. It's
okay.
from France. They've been around for 5 years. This is the 5th version I'm using right now.
Mhm.
So it uses AI technology. So it's not a lot of real long strings of coding. Like you got to use it like Unity and different other game engines, and it's a lot less expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unity costs
Yeah.
$900. It breaks the bank.
Yeah. And how much is this?
G-Develop is $10 a month.
Oh, $10 a month. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm also familiar with Unreal Engine.
Unreal. That's another one.
That's another. I mean, which is
breaks-
actually free, but you know,
That's
once
the
you hit a
trial.
certain
That's the trial.
yeah, once you
Yeah.
hit a certain, and then they
After
have a
30
lot
days.
of well, you know, they have a lot of add-ons.
Of course.
So if you want to get some of the key assets, you
Right.
pay for those.
Yeah, you're not really. If you get the trial and you think you're going to learn, you're not going to learn nothing in 30 days. That stuff is robust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That stuff will make you eat.
Yeah.
You're not even going to learn the basics in 3 days. It took me a whole year too much to learn, get this beta out
Hmm.
there. Because I never did this before.
Yeah. So how long have you been working on this particular project?
1 year and a month.
1 year
and
and a
2
month.
months, yeah.
Okay.
Literally
And
late nights.
And this is your first debut here at the 25th
Yeah.
anniversary of ECBACC.
Yep.
Wow, that's great. That's great, man. Well, kudos to you, brother. You know, for first of all, persevering and pushing through it, because sometimes people take something and do it for a month and they quit after the month
Yeah,
and
they're like,
everything. Now,
This
they
is
don't
too
see
much.
they don't see the the end of the tunnel or
Right.
anything like that. And creators like yourself, being able to kind of push through and navigate through, whatever obstacles that you
Mhm.
had to get through. I mean, that speaks a lot to your character and everything. That's great. And how many people are on your team?
As far as the game, the team is just me.
Yes.
So I did the animation, I did the character design, I also did the programming.
Mm.
Now I do have a couple of voiceover people who do voices for the game. I do have that, yeah,
Okay.
including
Okay.
myself,
Okay.
because I would voice the main character and one of the characters named Hopper.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So what is the narrative of your game, and and what kind of game is it?
Okay. The name of the game is called Escape from the Dragon Dungeon. It follows Lord Edric, who's a war hero. He saves the nation from bloodthirsty dragons, and he becomes a king. But his stepbrother, Sir Herman, got jealous and cast his dad down to a prison filled with monsters.
Mm.
Yeah. So now he got to fight his way out of this monster-filled prison called Dragon Dungeon. And that's where the game starts.
Oh, okay. Okay. And is this a role-playing game?
This game is
first
a
person?
side-scrolling beat 'em up game.
Okay.
Kind of like Bad Dudes, those kind of
Yeah.
late 80s, early 90s games.
So what has been the reception thus far?
Oh, people love it. People
Okay.
love it because when you first get into the game, the goblins, you're like a one-man army.
Mhm.
So these monsters, they come straight at us. If you don't take them out, they're gonna kill you. They'll kill less in a matter of seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a timer, so it's basically you run. Not only you run against the clock, but you got the enemies coming after.
Mm-hmm. So when do you anticipate launch, and what platforms are you looking to?
Well, right now, I'm beta testing, and what I'm doing is getting signatures to see if people want it as a full game. Once I get a certain amount of signatures, that lets me know, okay, there's a need for a full game.
Mhm.
And then I'm planning on launching the platform like Steam and Android.
Okay. Okay. And I mean, and do you have a price point of what it's going to look
Like $10.
$10?
Yeah, it's gonna be 8 levels. Like I said, it's a retro game. So I have some unlockables that to beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna kill anybody. It's a retro game and it's a retro indie game. So a lot of those games are very popular. In fact, the indie scene is a $4.4 billion industry.
Yes.
Yeah, they rival the AAA games. Matter of fact, a lot of AAA games, they going through because they games $80, $90, $100.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my Grand Theft Auto City, like $80, $90. You ain't got that kind of money.
Yeah, and you don't actually get the game, just downloading it now.
Yeah, a lot of games are downloaded. Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, and this, what's the audience? Who's the audience for this particular game?
Teens to adults.
Teens to adults.
Because it has some blood in it. So,
Okay.
It's
No, I understand because I had to rate my graphic novels teen.
Yeah, I had to
for that same reason.
Yeah. I had to put mature audience.
Yeah.
On the table.
No, I understand. I definitely understand.
And some mild language in there. So.
Hey, I mean, but that's what they're looking for. I mean, I know growing up. I mean, were you a gamer growing up?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, okay. I was around when the 2600 and Nintendo gave me to the
ColecoVision.
Well,
yeah,
I didn't have Coleco. I had Atari 2600.
Yes.
And then I graduated to
Nintendo.
That changed everything. Yeah. Of course, I was deep in arcade.
All right. So for those who don't know, how did you when your game glitched? what did you have to do to the cartridge in order for it to not go?
Sometimes you put alcohol on. Sometimes you blow on it. Yeah. Sometimes I got to put it in there, out, in and out. So.
We all had the same hacks. That's
Yeah.
that's what I was getting at, because a lot of people don't even know about any of this stuff.
And back in the day, I rented my games.
Oh,
you know,
really?
certain games I bought, like the Legend of Zelda. You know, certain
Yeah,
games
yeah.
I bought, but most of the time I've written my games at Blacklisted.
You know what's funny? See, I didn't own a system. I mean, well, we did later on, but
Of course.
my grandmother
Mm.
owned the system.
Oh,
So
okay.
when we went to my grandmother's house, she used to enjoy watching us play.
Mm.
You know, that was the big thing for her. So she had, so every system that she had, the Atari, 2600, 7800, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, you know, she had the whole gamut. We used to love going up there. And I wasn't an avid gamer, I was the coach. My brother was the avid gamer and everything. I used to sit on the sideline, no, left, right. You know, I used to do all that stuff. Be yelling at him, knowing I couldn't do it. He had all the eye-hand coordination and everything to do. I played a little bit, but that was his thing.
Yeah, I was the game maniac. You know, I play different types of games. Beat most, but I'm heavy into like role playing games.
Okay.
Games you can think, and, you know, earn experience and stuff like that. So into shooters, great racing games, wrestling.
So I know this is, you know, like your first project at your birthday and everything. Where do you see yourself in the company in the next 5 years?
5 years. Yeah, just expanding on my different having different developers, different games for me. This would be my first.
Yeah.
I would like to do a full game of this. But also, I want to bring other people to start to develop different games.
Okay.
Because I looked it up, there's only like 4 black-owned game developers in the United States. It's not many of us out.
Not many at all. Not many at all.
And the first one was a guy.
And what was that number again? What we saying for the gaming industry?
4.4 billion for indie games.
Indie games.
Yeah, so
7 point. I think it's 7.4 for.
AAA games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 7.4.
Basically, they make more money than Hollywood. Why do you think there's 3 video game movies out right now? Super Mario Galaxy, which is
right.
like $2 billion. It's still in the movie theater. I just saw Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat.
That's
and then Street Fighter is coming out.
Street Fighter coming out, and these movies are making money. Nobody's laughing at video game movies.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You know that I mean, and it's if you look at the history, there's a ton of video game movies too.
For the last 4 years, since the first Super Mario Brothers all the way up to right now, and they've been making. Well, I say it like this: they've been making money since the Mortal Kombat movie that came out in '95. Yeah. That's when they started making money.
Yeah, because the fan base is there.
Yeah, the fan base is there. And
because you got the gamers as well as, let me see what this is about because I've heard about it.
The directors are gamers themselves. So the movies that is done right, is the ones that make money. That's why Super Mario Brothers, the creator had his hand in it. The first one and the second. So they make money. And we ain't talking about the game adaptations on Netflix, like Cuphead and Fallout. So many of them. Castlevania. I never even thought
Castlevania.
I never thought they were gonna do a Castlevania.
Man, they revamped the heck out of it. Because I remember Castlevania as a kid.
Yeah.
And what they got on Netflix is nothing.
They added a lot of new characters.
But it looks phenomenal.
It is.
The animation is phenomenal.
Yep.
So
I just did Minecraft last year. Yeah. And Weekend at Freddy's.
So outside of you working on your game, is there a particular title that you work on or play with?
Well, I play my PS4, so I'm playing like Alien Hominid and the Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter collection.
Oh, okay.
The old Final Fantasy collection. Yeah.
Okay.
I even play in the retro games, the NES, the Super NES, on my emulators. So I still get the chance to play the games in my childhood.
Yeah, man, that's powerful. That's powerful. So, is there any advice that you would give to anyone who's looking to become a game developer?
There's a tons of game engines out there like Rosebud and G-Develop where you don't even have to have any animation experience. I know a guy that did old school Super NES style role playing game on G Develop.
Mm.
No animation or art because they have all the tools on the engine.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That's
So
powerful.
if you want to go out there and do it, there's tools out there.
Mm.
But I'm gonna tell you, it's a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? You can't just jump out there. It's like there's tons of things you have to learn and have to be patient because you're not going to get it in the first try.
Gotcha.
That's why it took me at least a year to do the beta, you know. And even with the full game, there's going to be some added stuff in there because I was on the time limit. I didn't really get the chance to put everything in there, but I just put the important elements in there.
Okay. Hey, well, thank you, Ricky. We definitely appreciate you. Let everyone know how to get in contact with you.
Okay. They can contact me at my games website at cloverricky.com/escape from Dragoon. This is the official website of the game.
Okay, can you just put that for the camera so they can be able to see that? Zoom into that, please.
And there's also on my this is my poster. The website is on here too.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
All right.
And also, I have my cartoon and podcast content on Uplift TV.
Oh,
Yep.
powerful.
Yep. That's a streaming service. People like a lot of independent people go in there and put their stuff on there.
You see that? Uplift TV.
Yep.
Oh,
You
that's
can have
powerful.
that.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. You can have the poster too.
Oh, thank
Yep.
you.
And
Yeah, I done got gifted.
yeah, and there's right here. This is a keychain. Got a little light on there. So you have that.
Oh, thank you.
And you know,
Oh, wow. Thank you, man.
This is a show appreciation for the podcast.
Hey, man. Hey, we this is what we do, man.
All right.
Where we highlight creators and innovators who are doing the work. But we also talk about the future because, you know, somebody in the audience is probably aspiring to do what you're doing currently and probably want to reach out and have questions and everything. And that's where the mentoring and the network, you know, because I always tell young people, you know, your network determines your net worth.
That's why I came here.
Yep.
Because last year I was in the attendee.
Yep.
Now I was like, all right, let me go ahead.
There you go.
Because
Hold on.
Yeah.
Another connection made at ECBACC, right here. The 25th anniversary of ECBACC. Every guest they hear, I mean, I got my origins started here in ECBACC. You got your, you know, because I was in attendee. I saw what was going on here and I said, wow.
Yeah.
I need to connect with some of these people in here. And you know, now it's what, 14 years later.
Exactly.
You know, I'm still pushing and making some things happen. We got an animation, we got couple of graphic novel series, we got a whole convention, all inspired by what I saw here at ECBACC. You know, so
like last year, like I was able to get two of my people on podcasts. Yep.
That's powerful.
So
oh yeah, what's the name of your podcast, girl?
Clover Label Live.
Clover
Yeah,
Label Live.
you can see it right on the Uplift TV.
Okay.
All 14 episodes on there. And I'm gonna do some more episodes too. So I'll have you on my podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the thing is, I do the podcast in my bedroom. I get everything set up in green screen, curtain, everything set up right there.
I mean, and that's you know the thing that's the technology is allowing more entry, you know, into different areas. I mean, especially with animation and gaming, where it was when we were younger.
You had to go to a studio.
We couldn't do what we're doing right now because the technology
was
wasn't
there.
available.
Yeah, exactly. You had to go to an institution to get that kind of or access to that equipment.
Yep.
But now everything's available at your PC or laptop.
Yep, that's correct. So thank you again, brother.
All right.
Appreciate you.
All right. I want to get a picture with you.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. So I don't know if we have any audience questions or anything before we get out of here, but I know we got a whole stadium of individuals that's in here. Well, if anybody's online, can you just monitor the chat, Layla? Just to see if anybody ask any questions or ask any questions that we needed to or anything like that.
I have a couple of questions actually for Ricky.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because my stepson's interested in game development. And this is not even knowing where to start. Like such a great starting point, just even thinking about platforms. Would you recommend that teenagers, like if you're a teen, should they even create a game in high school, write something, and is it too high of a learning curve to do G development?
You can learn that Yeah, I mean, and especially at the age, you definitely want to learn that in high school because you only can get better.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
even if it's just something simple, like
Simple.
was that what you recommend?
Yeah.
Like, even just
When I'm gonna tell you the process of game development.
yeah.
With game development, it's all about physics. So when you develop a game, you got to do physics tests. Everything's in shapes. So maybe a floor looks like a rectangle. A player is basically a square. You're doing physics to see how how character jump, move, and everything. So everything's done in shapes. All games go through that. Once you pass the physics test, then you put the coding on there as far as graphics and sound and everything. So, and that's why, yeah, especially somebody that age, that's a great age to learn game development. Because especially somebody that age, they can learn it even better because they're around technology all the time.
And there's so many different roles within that. I actually have a career map that I can give you that's at my table and everything. Because what I do workshops with parents to let them know, not to just play the game, but create the game, right? You yell at your kid, why are you spending so much time on the game and everything? Which is, but just being more productive with their time, because once again, we are one of the biggest consumers of these particular products, but we need to be in the creative and innovative space within these industries, so we could get a piece of that $7.4 billion, industry.
And like I said, they make more money than movies. Hollywood, right? Like I said, there's three video game-based movies right now, and they're making money.
And a lot of people don't understand, from a writing, music, artists are going platinum in games.
Exactly.
Like the people, because every element that you would see in a movie is in the game. Every element that's in the game also is in animation. So I like the, conventions, comic book conventions, and understanding like comic book and panel by panel storytelling, because that skill is transferable to film, animation, game design, like all of those different things, which a lot of people don't, kind of make those connections. See, I had an engineering background, so a lot of this stuff I had to break down, so I could get an understanding how this thing even works, for when I jumped into the industry, because I'm coming from engineering and transitioning to education. It was a learning curve for that, but understanding it, now I can transition into an animation.
Exactly.
Because I know how to write stories, I know how to do the storyboards, because that's what a storyboard is. Exactly. It's a comic book. Yeah. And then be able to take that, and now if you want to add sound and motion to it, now you got animation. If you want to add gameplay to it, now you got a video game. So all of those same skill sets are all embedded into those particular industries.
So also with gaming, before I even do anything in the game, I gotta sketch everything. Yep. I gotta draw everything out because I have to do a roadmap. Mm-hmm. Everything I gotta put everything as far as the foundation before everything goes into the computer. Sometimes I don't have to draw it. Sometimes I just write it out. Sometimes it's words. So it just depends on how I'm inspired to for an idea to grow.
Okay. Were there any questions in the chat? No. Okay. No problem.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. No problem. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Futures Black podcast. We've been doing special episodes. We're looking to do another special episode for a lot of the different events. We'll be at Dance Africa in Brooklyn, New York. Next week. We'll be at Dance Africa, New York next week. That's going to be the next spot that you'll see us, and we'll have a table. We'll be set up. So if you're out there, come say hi. Let us know what you think, and then check out some of our previous episodes, because we talk about game developers, we talk about comic book design, animation, all of these different things, and what the industry is looking like, from women gamers to comic book designers and everything else. We are touching on that in the Futures Black podcast. So my name is Naseed Gifted, and this is Ricky Clover Jr. Yes. And thank you guys for showing up and showing out. Peace.